Hello again, chess enthusiasts. The task set for white in this position is to force a draw. How exactly does he go about doing that? Well, while we're thinking about that, let me just say that quite recently I have uploaded to YouTube 3 shorts, each of them in 2 parts. The first one, a white king and knight against a black king, bishop and pawn, and white was able to force a draw. The second one was a white king, knight against a black king, knight and pawn, and black was able to win that one. The third one was with a white king and queen against a black king, queen and 2 black pawns, and again white was able to force the draw. If you haven't already seen those, I would recommend that you check them out. This one is a little bit different though, in the sense that white does have material advantage. In spite of that though, it's not looking very favourable for him, for the simple reason that black has just played f3 to f2 and he's threatening to queen the pawn on f1. The question is, how does white prevent him from doing that? Well, the premise here for white really to be able to force a draw is to exchange these 2 rooks for these 2 pawns, and then you'd have a situation with a white king on its own against a black king and a black bishop, and that is a theoretical draw. So let's just, before we try and find what the key move is here, let's just have a look at what doesn't work, and we'll take it from right to left. Should white play here, he loses pretty quickly, because what happens is promotes to a queen check, the king is forced to take back, promotes to a queen again, white only has one move to there, and then black successfully finishes the game with queen h3 checkmate. So quite clearly that is of no use to white. So what alternatives are there to king g2? Well, if he tries to put either of these rooks on the f line to stop the f pawn from queening, say to here for instance, well, all that you'd need to do is to whip this rook off, and then really there is just no defense to f1. It doesn't matter what he tries to play. It's here, takes, king, back, and you'd queen one of those pawns. There's no way out. Equally, should he play this rook to here, well, what you can do here, you have a choice really. You can either take here and then he can't put you in check, or you could take with the bishop, maintaining your cover of this pawn. It's not absolutely essential. And if he comes here, you just need to nip in there like that. And then there is no way that white can defend against f1. It's impossible. So with all of that in mind, what else is there before we look at the key move? There's one final idea. That's the starting position. One final idea that white can employ there. Well, it's this. Check. So how does black deal with this? Well, quite rightly, he takes the rook. And white really has no choice but to take the bishop, because should he play here, then we can go here. Should he go here, we go here, and we're back with that same sort of position again, and there's no problem. So really, he has no option in this position other than to take the bishop with check. So how does black finish the game pretty quickly here? Well, this neat resource here, and no matter what white does there, he cannot stop black from queening one of those pawns. He can't do anything with his rook. This is the point. Should he play here, of course, then all that we need to do is to queen this, and we have a similar situation to before. He's going to have to take back, and then you queen it. So it's a king and a queen for black against a king and a rook for white. So that's a victory for black, no question. So let's just go back to the original position and see what in fact is the key move here. That is the starting position again. So how can we save this game? This is it, and draw it. There is one move where you can do it. Well, congratulations to anyone who's found it. The key move is to here. And what white is saying to black is, if you take that rook like this, with either pawn, it makes no difference. I'll take back. And then if he takes this rook, we take back. And again, it's a king against a king and a bishop, which is a theoretical draw. If he doesn't take that rook, then there is the distinct possibility that white might even be able to wangle a win. It is definitely a drawn position. So I don't think there's any way that black could make progress with that. That's after rook g1. Like I say, no matter which pawn he takes, it really doesn't do him any good either moving his king to here or to here. Let's just say he moves it to here, or moving this bishop anywhere down the diagonal. Clearly, should he move the bishop off this h2 to b8 diagonal, then it will be king h2, and it's certainly a draw. There's no problem. But if he should move his king to either of these, this is the simplest way to secure the draw. And you have a rather amusing position there, really, when you look at it, where black can do nothing. White's rook on g1 is all preesed twice over, but he can make no headway with it, because effectively what white is threatening is to force the draw at once with that. And if he takes the rook with his bishop, you take back, and he can't promote the pawn other than losing it one way or another. If he promotes it to here, he'd lose the game. If he takes the rook, you'd take the promoted piece back. If he takes here, for instance, like that, well, you just do that. And then really he's no option but to take the rook off, and you've got a lone king against a lone king. I hope you enjoyed that problem. It's equally as instructive as all of the others that I mentioned earlier, and I would say that these positions that arise in the corner like that, they do make you think, and after all, that is the whole object of the exercise, isn't it? Enjoy your chess, and goodbye for now.